Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Pumpkin beer up in this piece in the form of Wayfinder. It's actually a collab between Wayfinder, Cloudburst, and Magnolia Brewing. This is Corpo Seco. This is a premium pumpkin ale. It's a decoction method pumpkin strong ale aged on wood. I don't know if I've done a pumpkin beer all year, this year, but we're at the end of the year, so I figured I'd sneak one in just because it was sent to me by my buddy Chris from Soul Talk. You can go check him out, SUL Talk, on the old YouTubes and Instas. Does a bunch of spirit content, but he also does beer stuff, and he sent this up, so thank you very much. Kind of intrigued. A wood-aged decoction method pumpkin ale. I can get down with pumpkin beers. I'm not a hater of pumpkin beers. It's not rocket science, people. A beer is not good because it's a pumpkin beer. A beer is good because a beer is good, and it can just happen to be a pumpkin beer and be good. It's not science. Label-wise, Frankenstein, iridescent lenses. We can get down with it. Actually, the monster Frankenstein, if you want to get specific. YouTube people will get crazy because the doctor was named Frankenstein. Anyway, beer-wise, guess what? It looks like a pumpkin ale. Just off-white head, tinge of orange to it, maybe from that copious amounts of pumpkin. That rich kind of orange core that you'd expect from pumpkin beer. It's good nose. Okay, I'm curious now. Because they called this a pumpkin beer. They talk about the decoction method here. They talk about being a wood-aged strong ale. But they never say pumpkin and pumpkin spices. Not really getting ton, if any, pumpkin spices on here. This might be actually a pumpkin beer, which would be really, really cool. Because, you know, pumpkin, people like pumpkin doesn't taste like anything. I don't know about that. I think pumpkin has a flavor to it. You got to toast it and roast it and all that kind of stuff. But what it does add is fantastic mouthfeel. What I'm getting here is honestly just a soft maltiness. A soft maltiness, a little touch of maybe, imparting, making me think about it, a little bit of wood on it, but it's very, very neutral. It's a very, very soft, earthy maltiness, done and done. Dive it in. Cheers, y'all. There's something in there. Unless this is all vanilla from the wood, which it could be. Or a combination. Because, when you're talking about decoction, they say decocted. I don't know if it's double, single, triple decoction. That method of brewing, that method of treating the malt, tends to add mouthfeel to it. Tends to make a beer richer and denser. Pumpkin. You're going to get a lot of the same attributes from just a straight pumpkin added to the bill. Wood. Kind of doing the same thing. So I think we're kind of tripling down on methods. This is a really fun beer. This is a really, 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 really fun beer. Because it's not like a pumpkin. It's immediately, your brain jumps to pumpkin beer. You think of pumpkin spices. That's not what this beer is. This beer is not a pumpkin spice beer. I feel like there's something in here coming on. It could be a combination of wood. There's definitely a vanilla component to this. I'm thinking it could be either a combination of, or either just that wood. If it's getting that vanilla from that wood, then it's working out perfectly here. I think you might be getting a little bit of soft confectionery, sugary sweetness maybe from the added pumpkin too. That wouldn't be surprising. And then maybe there's a oats in here or something along those lines, of like a certain weed or something like that brings a little bit of a vanilla kind of tone to it. Again, we're not talking vanilla the way you would get vanilla beans or big, huge barrel-aged beer. But since this is something and it's relatively low ABV, it's 6 and change, right? 6.5? I think it is. 6.5%. That's funny. They list what glasses you should put it in, and they essentially says, put it in whatever the hell you want, just don't put it in a skull. Drink it from a skull. This is a really cool beer. It has me a little bit nervous that I'm going to be allergic to it, because anytime I get like this little bit of like clovey vibes, which I can get from pumpkin beers, even though I don't think it's here. I think it's a little placebo effect. I can have a little allergic reaction. Nothing Benadryl won't clear up, which I always keep in my pocket. But I think this might be the first pumpkin beer I've ever had. Like pumpkin. Like not pumpkin spice, like pumpkin. Utilizing pumpkin in a very, very cool manner. Because this comes to me, if I drink this blind, I don't think I pull out pumpkin here. I think I keep going, I don't know what's in here, but there's something else. It's almost like English ale-ish. Kind of like, it's not ESB, but it's also not like, it's in that vein, you know. ESB, kind of casky, kind of English style beer with that little bit of a wood addition and just that sultriness, that silkiness, that softness that pumpkin can add to a beer. This is really cool. This is really cool beer. It's a very interesting take on a style that I think a lot of people would read that word pumpkin, and I'd be one of them, and automatically assume there's going to be, you know, gingerbread and pumpkin spices and this, that, thing, and the other. It's just not the case here. It really is just this really lush, mouthfeel forward, for the lack of a better term, beer in a way that not a lot of beers are. Like, this is like beer showcase malt, beer showcase hops, beer showcase acidity, sour, bugs, whatever you want to call it. This is showcasing mouthfeel. You know, it's showcasing mouthfeel as the number one lead actor in the beer, and you do not see that as the case almost ever. And that's where I find this beer to be ultra interesting. Full disclosure, how old is this? I can't see. I mean, it says something 22, 23. I can't. It's like when the date's kind of on that little weird corner of the can. So it's anywhere, I'm assuming, between an 8 and a 10. It's probably 10, considering it's Frankenstein. It's a pumpkin beer. It's probably Halloween leaning, something along those lines. So it's going to have a few months on it. But that's a really fun beer. Really interesting beer. And it's almost to the point where it's like, you know, if I get down to brass tacks and I want to talk about, is this one of the better pumpkin beers I've ever had? I mean, yeah, actually it is. But it's not a pumpkin beer. It's not what we'd classify as a pumpkin beer. But is it one of the more interesting beers that I've had? Yes, without a doubt. Mount Rushmore status on one of those, both of those, sure, I don't know. It is honestly kind of ultra unique in that it stands by itself because it's not something a lot of other people do. Value and availability, no idea. All you West Coasties, Chris, anybody out there, if you, what'd you pay for it? I want to know. And leave you with, if you like, what you like this beer. If you really like pumpkin beers, but you wish they didn't have pumpkin spices in it, I mean, you like ESBs, but you wish they had pumpkin and wood involved, I don't know. If you like interesting beer, interesting, well-made beer, you will like this. Because this is an interesting, well-made beer. That's what it is. And I say that with absolute 100% positivity, not in like a negative kind of way. It's just really fun, really tasty, well-done beer. I'm really glad I got to try this. Thank you very much, Chris. And yeah, hey, what else do you want me to say other than Wayfinder, Cloudburst, Magnolia? Have you been to the breweries? Have you had collabs? Have you been to Wayfinder? They're the ones leading the pack here on this beer, or brewing it. Have you had the bunch of their beers? Have you had this beer? I really wanted to know what you think of this beer if you have had it, because I'm curious, because it is such a unique beer in a very fun way. All that fun stuff down there. So hopefully you enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little bit of pumpkin jams right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers, y'all.